Welcome to the Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. Every week, we're going to bring you powerful stories and strategies from leaders who are making a real impact by building stronger, more resilient communities. Get ready to be inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools to thrive in both your personal and professional life.
Hi, everybody. This is Beth Almaris with the Foundation for Family and Community Healing. We are a nonprofit that is really passionate about helping both individuals and organizations build strength and resilience through skill-based education and leadership development. We have a great guest today. I'm excited to talk to Sara Ney, who is the CEO at Duct Tape Marketing. How are you doing today, Sara?
I am doing well. How are you doing, Beth?
I'm excellent on this fine Monday. So why don't we get started with a brief overview of your company?
Of course. So Duct Tape Marketing has been in business for about 30 years at this
Wow.
point. I've been with the company since December 2010. And so over those years, we've always been essentially a marketing agency, but we have some uniqueness about us. And so on one side, we are a fractional CMO agency. So we work directly with small business clients where we come in, we create marketing strategy, and then we sit in the fractional CMO seat where we're overseeing the strategy, the budget, the metrics, and the execution, and can offer execution services to those clients. And then on the other side of our business, for the past 16 or so years, we've been actually certifying fractional CMOs, marketing agencies, consultants in our approach. And so they're able to go in and lead with strategy and serve clients using our frameworks, systems, and methodology.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, it was a way to, when our founder, John Jantz, he originally wrote a book called Duct Tape Marketing. And when that came out, actually consultants and agencies started approaching him saying, can we use your system for our clients? And so that's actually where the idea was born about 16 years ago. But it really has allowed us to make a bigger impact in the small business world because, we could only work with a certain amount of clients ourselves. But now we've certified and trained, hundreds of consultants that are working with thousands of clients all around the world. And so it's made the impact on the small business world a lot greater through that network community.
That's really interesting. Great, forethought about the kind of what folks are going to need. What kind of small businesses do you guys work with?
We work with a range of small businesses, but really a lot of the clients that we work with tend to be in like the professional services space or home services space. But we also work with a number of like thought leaders, national B2B brands as well. So it's just kind of dependent on, what are their growth goals? Where are they at currently from a revenue perspective? And what are they trying to do marketing wise? Because we're very focused on creating a marketing strategy that aligns with the business goals and objectives to help them get from, where they are to where they're trying to grow. And so we don't typically work in a specific niche. It's more of, can we help this business? Do they have the right structure and offer and products and services in place to get that level is kind of what we're analyzing for.
Yeah. And how many employees do you have?
There's about 15 of us at Duct Tape Marketing, mix of full-time employees and contractors.
Okay. So you're kind of like, you're serving the kind of same population, right? You're a small business, even though you have this incredible impact.
Yeah, we're absolutely a small business ourselves. And so, through our certification program, for example, I'm training marketing consultants, fractional CMOs agencies that are small businesses themselves. But I've, in our company, I've started as an intern and then I worked in as community manager and then I was account manager for our clients and I was fractional CMO and then I was in operations sales and now I'm in the CEO seat. And so that helps me train that group so much better because I've sat in a number of different seats within the company. And so I understand what it's like to be in those different roles and also now how to lead people in those different roles and how to hire for those different roles. And so being a small business ourselves and from my own experience, being able to sit in all of those seats, that helps me not only lead our team, but other agencies and consultants in the space as well, a lot more effectively.
Yeah, that's impressive. So, our organization, we really focus on training and learning and development and leadership development, what are some of the things that as an organization you all do in the training space?
Of course. So for our own business first, for our own team, one of our values is hiring growth-minded people. And so we're always looking for people that don't just want a job that they check in and check out at the end of the day. We want someone that's, joining us to grow in their career or to grow in their skill set or to their ability, and always wanting to be learning and always wanting to be curious. And so we encourage that through our hiring process, but also what we expose team to. And so we're always bringing in new systems, new opportunities, new areas for growth to our team. One of the simplest things that we do there is we do book club. And so we're always reading a book together and we're always discussing. And a lot of those books tend to be very personal growth focused, and not always just your business books, because I'm really big on, if the team is going to continue to grow and evolve together, we're going to be stronger together and we're going to serve our clients at a better level. And so we do a lot of focus there. But also, when training other consultants and agencies, I actually went down the path a little while ago where I became a certified mindset coach. It was about an 8-month program that I went through. And really my goal for that was, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with mindset, I found. And so I went through that program because we're training them on things like sales and leading teams and growing and evolving themselves and packaging and pricing what they're worth. And a lot of people run into mindset blocks, it seems like, when it comes to pricing or delegation or leading. And so I
Mm.
went down that path to be able to help people get across having more confidence to charge what they're worth, because that's really important. I've seen a lot of people get very near burnout in this space because they're undervaluing their time or their service, and all of a sudden they're really busy working with a lot of clients and they're spread way too thin and they're completely overwhelmed. And so if they would take a step back and charge more and work with less clients, oftentimes they can get into a lot better space when it comes to longevity in their career. So I love the topic of personal growth, and it's something that I try to incorporate both in our training for our members and also with my internal team as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I've never heard of that training. That's really interesting.
Yeah. There's just a lot of struggles that entrepreneurs go through. I mean, myself included. One of my biggest mindset blocks was I used to just think I wasn't good at public speaking and I got incredibly nervous about it. And so I
Mm.
was to the point where if I was in a room and there was even just 10 people around a table and they're like, say your name and where you're from, that used to give me so much
Oh
anxiety,
no.
just that. But I realized, for my career path, being comfortable in public speaking was an important piece for me. So I just kept doing it. And I realized that, it gets easier every time. And I heard a quote at one point that there's no failures, as long as you're learning. Essentially, that's not the exact quote, but there's everything. Every time you do something, if it doesn't go as you thought it would or it had planned, as long as you learn something to get better next time, it's still a win ultimately. So I approached that with public speaking, and so I kept doing it. I kept doing it. And now I can get on stage and I can give a presentation. And yes, I still get nervous, but not to the point where it's going to completely stress me out for weeks leading up to it. And so, I've had to identify some of my own stuff as well to work on and to continue to work on. But that's just another example of being willing to grow and learn often helps you evolve a lot more than just saying something like, oh, public speaking's not for me, ultimately.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of ways to practice it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Public speaking specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I was a lot more comfortable behind the screen for a long time. There's this sense of security. And so I got a lot more comfortable presenting in webinar formats, over time. And then, when I got on stage in person, it was maybe doing a smaller session and then building into a larger session. And so it's just putting the reps in and getting more comfortable and getting more confident over time.
Yeah. So, as a CEO, just thinking about leadership development, what do you think some of the challenges are facing small organizations or small companies these days?
For us, I can talk about us specifically. There's a lot that's changing in the marketing space right now. And so there's the evolution of AI. So I've been in the space for about 15 years. And it's never been as overwhelming as it is right now. And I'm someone that like thrives on change. Like I love change. I love new things. I cannot watch a movie twice because it bores the heck out of me. And so I love change. And even right now, I'm feeling overwhelmed. And so I see that in my team as well, and other teams, not just my team, but other teams, is marketing is changing so fast. It's evolving so fast. There's so many different tools that are being thrown at us, so many different ways of working that are being thrown at us, that it's completely overwhelming. And I think it's causing people to be a little bit worn out or hesitant of change. I've spoke to a lot of different small businesses, and I talk a lot about AI. And so one of the things I always ask before I do an AI presentation is, who in this room is using AI or is dabbling or confident in it. And a lot of people are still dabbling in AI. And I think it's because there's overwhelmed confusion and just not certainty on how to approach it effectively. So people are just kind of like staying away until other people figure it out. And so I think a lot of that's causing a lot of complication within teams because some people are bought in, others aren't. And so from a leadership perspective, a lot of what I'm focusing on is how can we get everyone more comfortable with AI, and how can we elevate them in their roles and not replace them? And so how can we get them to see, okay, AI is going to help me do this more effectively so I can be more strategic, so I can focus on creativity and communication and all the things that humans are meant to do. And so I think the challenge right now is getting across that, okay, how do we bring in AI? How do we get everyone on the same page? How do we use it to elevate people? And then how do we use it consistently is a lot of what people are working through right now. But as leaders, I think it's our opportunity to help drive that change, because AI is coming and it's here and it's not going away ultimately.
Yeah, I love what you said about how do we use it to elevate people. I think that's incredibly important because so many people are afraid they're going to be replaced by it. So
Yeah, exactly. And if you have someone on your team that's afraid of being replaced, one of the exercises that I would do is sit down and say, let's make a list of everything that you do on a consistent basis. And then let's analyze, like, what are these things that are like becoming more valuable because of AI? What are these things are becoming stable or kind of staying the same, and what are becoming less valuable? And so then once you have that list, you can say, okay, out of the less valuable or stable things, can we bring in AI to help with some of this stuff so you can focus on the things that are becoming more valuable? And so I think that's a good exercise because it helps you understand, like, okay, I'm not just replacing myself, but I'm helping me focus on the right things and really future proof my career versus focusing on the things that might be replaced. And so, again, I train a lot of agencies. I think agencies that keep offering just marketing execution, so things like writing blog posts and managing social media profiles and optimizing SEO, like, there are AI tools that are being built to do those things. And so if agencies keep just focusing on those services, they ultimately one day will be replaced by different solutions. And so to agencies, I'm preaching, really focus on being strategic and guiding and helping your clients even bring in AI systems to be able to handle that, but then train them and lead them effectively. And so that's where I believe agencies need to shift, is being that strategic advisor more and enabling teams to be able to execute versus just handling the execution.
Yeah, that is a big shift. Really interesting conversation, Sara. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
If folks are interested in learning more about you or your company, what's the best way for them to connect?
Of course. So Duct Tape Marketing is our company and our website. And then also you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there as well. So again, my name is Sara Nay.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And thanks to our listeners. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on our Rise Together podcast weekly hot take series. We hope you've been inspired by today's stories and strategies for building stronger, more resilient communities. Remember, resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about growing through every challenge to become bigger and better. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with somebody who could benefit from these insights. Stay connected, stay resilient, and we'll see you next time.